I just recorded this whole video and forgot to record the audio. So I'm retarded and let's do this again. So sorry if I'm not as excited about this one. I kind of already did it. But maybe I'll be better at it. So you guys are probably like, well, you're not good now, so how bad was the last one? And you'll never know. But anyways, if you're interested in advancing either your life or your career, this is an important video for you. Not because I'm a genius or something, but because I listen to geniuses and I'm telling you what the geniuses said. So, don't get mad at me if you don't agree. But I basically read two books that I thought were similar, back to back. Both were recommended to me by Shark Tank. Kevin OLeary's book, Cold Hard Truth on Business, Money and Life. And then Marc Cuban recommends a book called Rework. So I read them both and I thought actually that they kind of tied into each other. So I was like, let me talk about both of them so I don't have to make two separate videos and waste everyone's time. I can make one big video on this and show you all the valuable information within both. So I'll start with Kevin OLeary's book. Like as you guys know, he's Mr. Wonderful, but a lot of people think he's Mr. Not So Wonderful. Like they don't really like him. And I don't blame them. Like if you don't understand someone's motives and you just have this guy like being rude, you're like, he's a jerk. But I kind of know people like him and I understand where they're coming from, because a lot of them just know what they have to do or they have a purpose and you don't know their purpose, so you don't understand why they are the way they are. For him, he believes that if you come up with a bad product, he needs to tell you, because he doesn't want you spending the rest of your life doing this. So it's like when someone does their makeup and they ask you, do you like it? You probably tell them yes, even if it's ugly, but are you really helping them? I mean, they'll feel good about it, but they'll keep doing the makeup that way. So, I mean, I get both points of view, not telling you what to do, but I'm just explaining his point of view. So he wakes up at 4:30 a.m. in the book, he says, and he expects if he needs his team at that time or late in the evening, at any time when he calls his sales guy on his team, when he calls the CFO, when he calls whoever he needs to call, they need to answer and they need to have numbers ready. They need to know them. He doesn't want them to come back in half an hour and pull out reports. They need to know the important numbers, in and out, like inside out. So that's pretty interesting, because a lot of us are on 9-to-5 schedules, and if someone called us at 9 o'clock at night, we would be pissed. And he literally says, like, I don't care if I'm calling my guy and it's the one day he sees his girlfriend. That's not my problem. Like, he does not care, and he can't care. He's running a business. You run your life and it's up to you to decide if this is the type of work you want to be in, but that's not his problem. It's not for him to judge. It's not for him to be, sorry, I don't know how to say it. You get what I mean. But anyways, so that's super crazy, because like I said, a lot of us are on 9-to-5 schedules. We would be pissed. He doesn't care. So it's up to you to understand, like, you don't need to work at a place like that, and you don't need to work for a boss like him. But another thing he says is that he likes to pay his employees a lot, because he knows that money is the biggest motivator for people, especially who are willing to go to those lengths. So it's not like he's expecting a lot out of his employees and then giving them a little bit. He's expecting a lot but wants to pay them a lot. So to me, that sounds like a fair trade. You don't want to get paid a lot? Don't do it. No problem. I'm someone who's willing to take on those calls at 4:30 a.m. I don't mind, as long as it's worth it. So he knows that, and he's willing to pay accordingly. Another thing is, if there's a bad employee in the company, they're gone. Like, just like that, he doesn't care. He's not waiting 3 weeks or giving you 3 notices. He'll sit you down and he'll be like, look, what would it take to have you leave now? He'll write them a check and bye. They're gone the same day. Like, he does not care. He thinks that they're poison to the company. And, like, I agree. Like, someone who's demoralized is going to just bring down the rest of the team. They're going to start talking bad about the company. Like, you don't need that at all, especially when, like, you're working such long hours. You want motivation. You want people who, like, bringing you up in energy. and pushing you to go forward, not backwards. So those are two like big things in that book that I thought were huge. And there's some other things not really relevant to this topic. So I'll go to Rework now, and I'll kind of tie them in. So this, like I said, was recommended by Marc Cuban, and like it just questions everything that a regular business kind of maybe does. So it's made or written by the company that made Basecamp, which is I think like a project management software or a task management software. I'm not sure exactly. I think it's like an Asana or something like that. Haven't personally used it, so I can't say from experience, but it's some sort of computer software or web application. And they kind of question the regular things that companies do. So like they want you to stop and say, am I doing something that's actually useful? Like, am I just copying someone? Am I just like doing this because all the other companies out there that are in my space are doing it? Or does this actually add value to my customers and my business? Am I just shooting out another feature that no one's gonna use? Like, it wants you to think about that. It also wants you to realize that a lot of times when you're talking to someone or you're getting emails or all these things, these are interruptions. If you constantly are taking them right away, you're getting interrupted all the time. And like, they say it as it is. They're not saying, oh, like maybe try not to. They're saying, avoid this. Like, these guys are like, serious. Don't do this. They like, when you're in a meeting, they want you to like schedule it, starts at 10, ends at 10:30. At 10:30, you leave. You don't wait. You don't say, oh, we need another 2 minutes. I gotta go. I got another meeting. I got other things to do, and that's it. They also, they don't want you to be a hero. Like, they know it's, a lot of our companies, they set these huge goals. Like, oh, by next year, we're gonna have our website up and running and all this. And they don't do that. They try to take a project like a website that takes a year and break it down into smaller projects. So, maybe like project one is like the logo. So the logo that's gonna go on your website, and like, okay, like that should take us about 2 weeks. Let's get it done by 2 Thursdays from now, whatever it is. And, they say like that, it becomes something more manageable, less stressful, and allows you to stay focused. It's just things like that. It's like they don't want you to copy your competitors. They want you to come up with things that are actually helpful, or maybe don't come up with anything. Like, don't just do something to do something. Focus on the things that are important. Don't copy just to copy. Don't just like be nice with everyone and try to be like, oh, like we're friends with our neighbors. No, you're not friends with your neighbors. You're at war with your neighbors. Pick a fight with them, with your competitors, your neighbors, whatever it is. If you're competing with someone, you pick a fight with them. Like, you want it. It creates talk. It creates excitement. It makes people choose a side. Like, if you think about like UFC fighters, Conor McGregor, these guys, Mike Tyson, they pick a fight with everyone. And like, it divides people. It gets people so passionate about things. And obviously you're not going to have the same reaction as like a UFC fight or a boxing fight, but you get the point. Like, it does allow people to pick sides, and it makes things interesting. And it kind of pushes you also to work a little harder. So like, they want you to do things and like not worry about your competitors. Like, let them overspend. You just focus on what's going to add value to your customers, and you don't care about these other guys. They want you to get into the habit of saying no, which is also like super Kevin OLeary. Like, this guy says he doesn't care. He'll say no to anyone. If he doesn't like something, no, he has no problem. That's a huge thing that a lot of us don't always feel comfortable with. But how many times did you do a favor for someone that you really didn't want to, and it took so much time, and you could have just said no because maybe you really didn't need to do that for them? Like, they've never done anything for you. Maybe they have, right? It depends. But basically, they want you to just take risks. They want you to do things your way while you're small, while no one's watching. Like, they want you to try different things out. And I can go on about this book. They do say other things about hiring, damage control, company culture, all these things. But the point is, like, they make very good points and they give very good examples. You can read the book if you like it, but the most important thing to note is, like, stay focused. Don't be scared to say no. Like, why are you going to work? You know, if you're going to work to advance your career, remember that every day and make decisions with that in mind. Don't just, oh, my boss asked me to do this, like my coworker asked me to do that. Oh, I got 100 emails, I need to answer them all. No, you don't. Like, I get 100 emails. If some of them are just stupid, I don't answer them. You know, if someone says something, oh, sorry, I was busy, like, nothing's gonna happen. You know, like, we often think something huge is gonna happen. A lot of times, you know, someone gives you a deadline, I need it done by Friday. I give it to them 2 weeks later. Nothing happens. You know, like, obviously it depends, but like, just do you, you know, like, have confidence in yourself, be you, know why you're doing things. And, you know, if you live by those rules and like listen to some of the things that I said in the video that I didn't make up, that these smart guys made up, or maybe probably got from somebody else, then, you know, like, I think you'll be all right. And it's not a fluke that all these guys say similar things. Like, all the successful people, they tend to have similar things that they're saying. I'm gonna share a bunch with you and just hopefully try to take as much of them as you can and morph them into a way that you'd like to use them. So everyone's gonna be different. We're not all gonna do the same thing, but I think there's a lot to take out of this video, and I'll leave you there for today. But, you know, maybe tell me some of the books that you enjoyed reading. Maybe I'll give them a read. Maybe I'll mention some of the interesting things that I found out about them, and we can go from there. So thanks guys for watching, and see you next time.